Mysterious disappearance of Miss Dotty Commers. Who's that? Miss Dotty Commers was a British pet doctor. She worked exclusively with dogs and cats. She was so well known, she had a bridge named after her, the DC Skybridge in Hong Kong. One moment she was walking across the DC Skybridge, the next moment she was gone. Some people think Dotty Commers was kidnapped. Others think that she vanished into thin air. Thin air? Sounds like a mystery to me. Maybe we should travel to Hong Kong and check out the DC Bridge for clues. And see if we can spot the famous DC Bridge from the top of the Sky 100, famous tower in Hong Kong. Let's go inside, have a look. Sky 100 has a 360-degree view of the whole city of Hong Kong. Pretty cool. We should be able to see the bridge from on top. So the Sky 100 is one of the largest buildings in Asia. It's 118 stories tall, and we're going to go to the observation deck on the 100th floor. Let's go in. Floor, here we come. Well, here we are, 393 meters above the city. Also, let's see if we can spot the DC Skybridge and get some clues about what happened to Miss Dotty Commers. Whoa, let's have a look around. DC Skybridge, where are you? I still don't see it. Maybe we'll try that way. Where is that DC Skybridge? We need some clues about what happened to Miss Dotty Commers. That's why we're here, kids. Hey, I think I see it over here. Yeah, there it is right there. I'm gonna switch the camera view so you can get a better view. Whoa, look at how tall this is. Let's see, where is that? Yep, hey, there it is. You see it between those two big buildings and between that highway? Yeah, right over there. Whoa, I can barely see it. Let's zoom in with the camera. There we go. Yep, see it. Hey, whoa, look at that. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, so here it is right here. On the west side is the D part of the bridge, and on the east side is the C part of the bridge. Huh. It said that she was a cat and dog veterinarian, and she owned these two places. It looks like here is the cat clinic. But that's unusual. Look at this. Huh. It's a different trademark. And here's the dog hospital on the east side. And if you look over here, it's got a different logo on it. What happened to Miss Dotty Commers? She supposedly walked over the Skybridge between the cat clinic and the dog hospital that she owned herself. But it looks like this building is owned by this company, and it's an independent entity of the dog clinic. Something strange is going on here in Hong Kong. Let's go back to the Genius Lab and try and analyze this a little further. Kids, hey, I made it back to the Genius Lab here, and I'm analyzing the data I collected back in Hong Kong. I pulled up a picture here. Let's take a look on the screen. Here is the DC Bridge, and you can see that it connects the cat clinic to the dog hospital. Now, when I pulled this up on the computer, I saw something kind of odd here. If you look over here, there is one logo, and then over here there's a different logo. So from that newspaper article I read, I thought that Dotty Commers owned both the cat clinic and the dog hospital. That seemed a little bit confusing to me. Let's go ahead and take a look at some sentences. Number one, Miss Dotty Commers was a foreign pet doctor. It's an independent clause. We just label that like we normally do. And we see that we have a dot comma. The second part here, the British veterinarian worked exclusively with cats and dogs. That's another independent clause. There's some type of relationship between these clauses, because here we have a foreign pet doctor and here we have a British veterinarian. They're related. The second sentence, Miss Dotty Commers owned a cat clinic on the east side, independent clause, dot comma. On the west side was her dog clinic, independent clause. They're related through the dot comma because we have a cat clinic and we have a dog hospital, as we see over here. Third sentence, she was so well known that she had a bridge named after her, independent clause, dot comma. The DC Skybridge stands for Dotty Commers. That's an independent clause as well. Does it really stand for Dotty Commers? 1 minute she was seen walking on the DC Skybridge, independent clause, dot comma. A minute later she was gone, another independent clause. How are they related? 1 minute she was doing this, and the next minute she was gone. Next sentence, some people think Dotty Commers was kidnapped, independent clause, dot comma. Others think she vanished into thin air, independent clause. Kidnapped, vanishing into thin air. Both related. When you're kidnapped, you disappear. When you vanish into thin air, you disappear. There's some type of relationship that needs to be between the dot comma. Let's look at this here. So on this side, we have a dot comma, which contains two independent clauses, one on the left and one on the right. Let's compare that to a period. If we have a period, we will have an independent clause on the left and the right. Here we see that we have a comma. A comma is kind of like a hook. That hook is going to link the two independent clauses together because there's some type of relationship. Whereas with a period, in a period, we just have an independent clause on both sides. We don't necessarily need to talk about the same thing. In fact, we can start talking about whatever we want, change topics if we want through the period. That's the main difference. One note here about ACT is this. How are they going to try and trap you and get you to get the wrong answer on test day? They will give you an independent clause on the front, and they will give you a dependent clause on the back. Okay? That is incorrect. You have to have two independent clauses. The other way they can try and trick you on test day is to give you a dependent clause on the front, a dot comma, and then an independent clause on the back. This is kind of tricky because what they will do in a dependent clause here is they will give you one word that changes the independent clause and makes it into a dependent clause. So they will put these together like this, all right? These are called subordinating conjunctions. A couple words that will change an independent clause into a dependent clause are as, if, when, and since. This is a very short list. There's quite a few more than this, but just to introduce this topic. So if I take any sentence and I throw these on the front, it's going to make it into a dependent clause. Watch, okay? So this would represent the box here. And then now let's put an independent clause here. Jimmy ran to the store. That's an independent clause. If I put the word as on the front, as Jimmy ran to the store, that's a dependent clause. You see that? Be aware that they could put one word at the front of a sentence that will make that into a dependent clause, and that will make the dot comma unusable, kids. If you have further questions about subordinating conjunctions, check in with Professor Thomas. Quick review: independent clause, dot comma, independent clause, relationship between the independent clauses is how you will use that. What I think happened to Miss Dotty Commers is she sold the cat clinic to one company and she sold the dog hospital to another clinic. When she did that, she was no longer the owner, so there was no type of relationship between the two. She ended up moving back to Great Britain. Mystery solved. Thanks for watching the DC Skybridge and mystery of missing Miss Dotty Commers. Mysterious disappearance of Miss Dotty Commers. Who's that? Miss Dotty Commers was a British pet doctor. She worked exclusively with dogs and cats. She was so well known, she had a bridge named after her, the DC Skybridge in Hong Kong. One moment she was walking across the DC Skybridge, the next moment she was gone. Some people think Dotty Commers was kidnapped. Others think that she vanished into thin air. Thin air? Sounds like a mystery to me.